This is a heartbreaking scene. An elderly man with limited mobility is carried by his family on a stretcher into a bank to conduct business. We can see from the video that the elderly person is very old and cannot move around on his own, so his family are carrying him on a stretcher-like device to the bank window. Look, two men are holding the old man up. They are doing facial recognition while another woman is communicating with the bank teller. There's Grandpa Wang, who passed away a few days ago in Jiangsu province. His daughter and son went to the bank with his father's bank book and tried to withdraw the 20,000 in his savings account. However, the bank staff refused, insisting that Grandpa Wang must come to the bank in person. Wang's daughter negotiated with the staff for a long time, begging them. The staff's answer was just two words: no way. Wang's daughter really had no choice. In a fit of rage, she even carried Wang's coffin into the bank and placed it in the lobby. As the Chinese economy continues to decline, financial risks increase, and financial institutions such as banks are under enormous pressure. Small and medium-sized banks are the first to face survival difficulties. As of July 25th this year, nearly 1,500 bank branches and institutions in China have closed, including state-owned banks, urban commercial banks, rural commercial banks, etc. By the end of September, more than 260 small and medium-sized banks have been merged and reorganized. A Chinese netizen said, "With the economy in decline, businesses are having a hard time, and naturally banks will have trouble collecting their loans. While the big banks can hold on, the small banks will go bankrupt." It's believed that the financial industry is society's bloodline. If even the largest banks start to close, an economic tsunami may be imminent in China. Today, let's discuss the strange phenomena of China's banks. But before we do, we would like to invite you to subscribe. Your support is our greatest motivation and helps us bring you more valuable content. Now, moving on. On November 27th, a woman from Shengtai City, Hebei Province, went to the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China to withdraw money because her husband was in the hospital. She withdrew $3,450, but was checked and verified by bank staff for a long time. I withdrew a total of $3,450 from my card, and it took me 20 minutes waiting here. Because the bank needed to verify me, they made countless phone calls. They are verifying the withdrawal. I said my husband is in the hospital, and the staff asked me, "What department is your husband staying in?" Even though he wasn't in the hospital when I needed to use the money, can I withdraw my own money? Yes, you can. You held me up for 20 minutes and I couldn't withdraw $3,450. She is keeping on calling to verify, and this is your Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. Hello, this is from the bank branch. Could you please verify an account for me? The customer said, the bank can't catch even one fraudster, and those people always find a way to get the money out. While ordinary people withdrawing money, the bank will verify us repeatedly. In recent years, the CCP has been continuously restricting people from withdrawing money under the excuse of fighting fraud. There are many similar examples across the country, and some people have even been told to check with the police station first when withdrawing money. A netizen posted a video on June 11th this year claiming that his mother took her bank card, ID card, and other documents to Jilin Bank in Chengchuan City to withdraw money. She was told that she needed permission from the local police station to withdraw money. The bank staff responded that this was not a unilateral decision by the bank, but based on the requirements of the local police station, and the purpose was to prevent telecommunication fraud. If a depositor withdraws more than $2,800, the bank staff must report to the police station. And after the police station verifies the customer's account, the depositor can withdraw the money. Many Chinese netizens criticized, "It is my freedom to decide what to do with my own money. Why do I need your approval?" According to Chinese commercial banking law, commercial banks that handle personal savings deposits must follow the principles of voluntary deposits, freedom of withdrawal, issuing interest on deposits, and confidentiality for depositors. Therefore, freedom of withdrawal is the basic right of depositors, and no institution has the right to create obstacles. Apparently, in China, the law is just for show. When Mr. Han went to the bank to withdraw money, he was told that large withdrawals require an appointment. Hello, I would like to withdraw $14,000. Hello, sir, do you have an appointment? I'm in a hurry, can't I withdraw it without an appointment? I'm sorry, Mr. Han, but the policy requires an appointment for withdrawals over 7,000. It's my money, why can't I withdraw it? It's not that you can't withdraw it, but withdrawals over 7,000 are considered large withdrawals and require an appointment. How much do you want to withdraw? Didn't I tell you? I want to withdraw 14,000. For 14,000, you need to make an appointment. If you need the money urgently, you can withdraw up to 7,000. I need 14,000 and you're telling me only 7,000 is allowed. Are you kidding? As a result, Han withdrew 6,900 that day even though he urgently needed more money. He decided to go to the bank the next day to get another 6,900. Different banks have different rules for depositor withdrawals in China. In Shenzhen, depositors can withdraw up to $2,760 from ATMs. Between $2,760 and $7,000 can be withdrawn directly at the counter. However, withdrawals of more than $7,000 require an appointment. For even larger amounts, depositors must provide proof of actual use. Many netizens expressed incomprehension at the statement that the bank will assess the depositor's purpose before deciding whether to release the deposits. Why does money deposited in the bank become the bank's property? And why do people need the bank's permission to withdraw money? There is too much news like this. This woman got into trouble when the bank changed their daily transfer limit to 700 without notifying her. After a large amount of money was deposited into the account, she can only withdraw 700 per day, which is very inconvenient. After I deposit money, I can only withdraw 700 every time. That's what happened last time. I have to come in today to take care of it, and I said I wanted to change the daily limit to 28,000. But the staff told me I couldn't. I said I need to withdraw more money, and he said there was no money. I need to use money. What should I do? How can you guys treat me like this? You only have 10,000 cash in the bank. How can a bank as big as yours have no cash? Can you blame me? I said I wanted to raise my limit, but I couldn't. I said I wanted to withdraw money, and they say I couldn't either. Whose card is this? This is my card. This is my money. Earlier, Ms. Wang told overseas Chinese media that the amount of money she could transfer through mobile banking was limited by the bank to only $276 per day. She said it was very inconvenient because she could not even pay her child's tuition for private lessons at once, but had to do it over several days. The lady said that the transfer limit on her bank card was also inconvenient. It was ridiculous that she couldn't even transfer money to herself. I want to transfer money. Do you have your ID? Yes, can you cancel the limit set for me? It's a hassle to come to the teller whenever I want to transfer money. If you want to change the limit, you need to upload some information. My card is blocked. Well, I'll have to go to the computer right away to check the reason and see if it can be resolved. When was it blocked? It's been blocked for a long time, and I have to come to the counter every time. Please insert your card. Please take your card. Done. They say banks are really ridiculous these days. At the end of the month or the quarter or the year, the bank staff all compete for more deposit business. They are so happy to have checking account customers like us. The bank blocked my card saying my transfers are too many, so I have to go to the counter every time I need to transfer money. I told them today that I was really annoyed. Just now, the lady teller said that I could not transfer money. I just want to say that you are very attentive and humble when you need the deposits. But when my bank card was blocked, they even told me, don't use your bank card anymore if you don't like it. What do these banks think? I feel that every bank is more or less the same, and they are all equally rude. I can't even transfer money to myself, let alone to someone else. I have to go to the counter to transfer a small amount to myself, and I don't know why the bank makes such regulations. When a family member dies, it's even more difficult to withdraw the savings in the name of the deceased. Let's take a look at Grandpa Wang's story. In order to withdraw the $40,000 left by his wife after her death, 95-year-old Wang spent 2 years running around to dozens of relevant departments, collecting all kinds of documents, but still couldn't get his $40,000 back from the bank. Actually, the money is my money. Our parents are already dead. We have no children, and I am the sole heir of the first order. When it comes to this 40,000, Grandpa Wang is full of sadness. He and his wife have no children and have supported each other all their lives. They didn't spend much in their daily lives and they saved 40,000 for their retirement. 2 years ago, his wife died suddenly. After taking care of his wife's funeral, Grandpa Wang suddenly remembered that the 40,000 was still in his wife's name. In order to facilitate his retirement in the future, Grandpa Wang immediately went to the bank to transfer the money into his own name. The staff immediately told Mr. Wang that according to the bank's regulations, the money could now automatically become the cardholder's estate because the cardholder had passed away. Anyone who wanted to withdraw the money would have to prove that they were entitled to inherit the estate. Grandpa Wang hastily explained that he was the sole heir because they had no children, but the staff disagreed. They told Wang that whether he was the heir or not was not something that could be said with one's mouth, but had to be proven with evidence. Then they told Mr. Wang to go out and get various kinds of evidence. Grandpa Wang was very helpless. He rushed home and found his marriage certificate and his wife's death certificate. Faced with the files provided by Wang, the bank had new requirements. They said that this information could only prove that Wang had the right to inherit, but it could not prove that Wang was the sole one. It turned out that Mr. Wang's files showed that he and his wife had adopted a child. To prove that Wang was the sole heir, it was necessary to prove that the deceased had no legal relationship with the child. Grandpa Wang said that his wife and adopted son had legally dissolved the adoption and then produced the dissolution agreement. Although Wang had all the necessary paperwork, the bank officials still refused to give him the 40,000. In the end, Wang had no choice but to take the bank to court. In the end, the court ruled that the bank should return the 40,000 to Mr. Wang. Although Mr. Wang got his money back, he had to fight for it for 2 whole years. There is another bizarre case in China. A man in Shandong province whose last name is She deposited 15 million in a bank, but it disappeared without a trace. She owns a furniture company in Shandong. He has been in business for more than 20 years with a factory building area of more than 40,000 square meters and an annual production value of 83 million at its peak. In early November 2017, the local government requested the site of his company's factory to build an automobile city and promised him 15 million in compensation. Mr. She, full of hope, figured out how to use this money in the furniture factory. Soon, he received a bank transfer notice informing him that the 15 million in compensation had been deposited into his account. But the situation took a sudden turn that day. He discovered that the bank had frozen his account and the 15 million had disappeared without a trace. After checking with various parties, he learned that the bank had transferred the huge sum of money to 9 different accounts without his authorization, and the balance was 0. Mr. She angrily went to the bank to demand an explanation, but Ms. Jiang, the bank president, told him, "We helped you to pay off your debts." It turned out that She owed money to a number of companies, individuals, and organizations in the course of his business dealings. Mr. She is not a deadbeat, and the debt has been enforced by the court. What puzzled Mr. She was that of the 9 transfers, only 8 account holders were his debtors. The remaining big transfer was made to an account at the bank where he had his deposits, amounting to 1.4 million. In fact, as a local businessman, Mr. She has frequent business dealings with the local bank and is also an old acquaintance of President Jiang. Since President Jiang claimed to help Mr. She repay his debt, what was the deal with the 1.4 million transferred to her own bank? Mr. She pointed out, "Whether I owe the debt or not is my business, and how I repay it is also my business." He and President Jiang stuck to their versions of the incident, and in the end, President Jiang said, "If you have any questions, go ask the city leaders." In an interview with a reporter, Mr. She asked, "It's hard to imagine that a bank transfer to an individual would not even have a receipt." Faced with such an absurd situation, Mr. She had no choice but to take the bank to court and demand the return of the huge sum of money. In the end, Ms. Jiang was removed from the position, but the 15 million had not been transferred back to She. Some netizens said that President Jiang transferred Mr. She's millions of dollars into the bank's own account. Could it be that Ms. Jiang herself was in debt and had to use Mr. She's money to pay it off? Or did she share the money with other local officials? Many netizens believe the relevant personnel are suspected of crimes and should be punished according to the law, not simply dismissed. There was another bizarre case in Shandong. A woman deposited $140,000 in the bank, and after many years, only 14 cents was left. The police even detained the depositor for a while. In July and September 2009, Miss Soon, a citizen of Jiaozhuang City in Shandong, deposited $140,000 in two separate transactions at a branch of the Agricultural and Commercial Bank of China. In 2014, Miss Soon took two passbooks to the bank to withdraw money. The passbooks indicated that there was $140,000 in the account, but the bank system balance showed there was only 14 cents in the two passbooks. In fact, this incident was a major criminal case. It turned out that after Mrs. Soon had deposited $140,000, the two passbooks were replaced by a bank employee surnamed Tian. Miss Soon's deposits were later withdrawn several times by Tian. Tian also used similar methods to embezzle funds from several savings accounts. The local police set up this case in 2017 to investigate. They believed that Soon was involved in forging passbooks, so they detained her in 2018. It wasn't until April 2020 that the police admitted that Miss Soon was innocent. After a long legal process, the court ruled in December 2020 that the Rural Commercial Bank should pay Miss Soon $140,000 and interest. However, half a year passed and Jiaozhuang Rural Commercial Bank did not take any action, so the court enforced the judgment. On July 8, 2021, in accordance with the court's judgment, the branch finally transferred the compensation and interest to the court-designated account. After 7 years, Miss Soon finally received her money. Bank employee Tian was once missing but was later arrested by the local police and sentenced to 10 years and 6 months in prison on suspicion of forging of financial instruments. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, leave a message, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.